Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the newbies. Welcome to the channel for the first time. I just really quickly, at each of the videos, I've been saying this at the top, I'm not going to do individual zodiac readings for the end of May. The readings that I'm doing for the end of May are this one, which is the Should I Reach Out reading. I just recorded earlier a Are They Coming Back reading, and also earlier today I recorded a Pick a Card reading that had 3 different decks in there. So that video has 3 different readings. So those 5 readings will be the ones that I'm doing for the end of May. And those are not just for the end of May. If you stumble upon this video in the year 2032, it's still, it doesn't have a specific time associated to it. It's based on the questions. So it's, you pick a specific deck, or you ask the question, are they coming back? Or with this reading, should I reach out? The way that I decided to do this reading is I'm just going to start with Aries. I'm going to flip a card forward like this from each of these decks, and I'll use those 2 cards to give you an answer about whether or not you should reach out, and that would be based on your zodiac sign, your sun sign. I'm not going to say all of the other, like moon and rising. It's your sun sign is what I'm speaking to. Just so there's no room for like confusion about it, because this is a should I reach out. We want to get like absolute answers. Okay, so we're gonna start with Aries, and let's see what we have. We have the Emperor coming out upright with the 10 of Wands. So Aries, I would say absolutely you should reach out. I think that it's defaulted to you. The Emperor is your card, so that coming out, starting with you, I think that is, a sign. It's time to step into the authority aspect of being an Aries. Make sure that you are using sort of the rational aspect of your approach to authority, and not the aggressive part of your authority. And I think any Aries would understand that. This did come out with the 10 of Wands. And, this is, for me, I'm feeling like this really does represent a completion. This is the card of Sagittarius. I represent Sagittarius as well, just in case that resonates with anyone. I do see that, when you reach out, it'll be a difficult conversation, and it might be multiple conversations, but ultimately it will close out this cycle, and will, lead to the 2 of you being able to move forward. So Aries, that would be a yes. Taurus. Now we have the 10 of Cups upright coming out with the Fool reversed. So I feel that this is absolutely a supported love. It is a relationship that absolutely you should work towards. I'm assuming if we're doing a reading for should I reach out, there's been an issue. Okay, so it's something you should fight for. It's something you should try to repair. The Fool coming out reversed, I do feel like, I think that you probably should reach out, but I wouldn't expect necessarily to have a very in-depth response, or even to have a response at all, because I feel like this person is definitely holding back. They're not going to want to engage with you, but it's important that you do reach out, because the act of reaching out is what will eventually begin to thaw them. They want you to reach out, and they also want to not respond to you right away, or maybe have you reach out a second time before they actually do respond. So Taurus, I would say do reach out, but have realistic expectations about what might come out of that. Gemini. We have the 2 of Cups reversed with the 7 of Cups upright. I would say that I do not think that reaching out would yield any sort of rekindling of this. I feel that at least right now, this is I would consider this to be a breakup. I would consider this to be something that is final for now. I always add for now, because we don't know necessarily where these 2 people might be in 6 months or 6 years. So, but for now, I think that any sort of notion that this is something that's going to be repaired by reaching out, that would just sort of be wishful thinking at this point. Cancer. And we have the Magician in reverse, coming out with the Three of Swords in reverse. I would, ooh, how do I want to say this? I feel that right now, any attempt to reach out would lead to a situation in which your optimism and your willingness to forgive and forget would be manipulated to basically sort of trick you into not dealing with something that needs to be dealt with. I think that you should not reach out, Cancer. You should actually sort of hold back and potentially even play hard to get. Make this person work for it. Make this person come to you. Leo. And we have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse with the Justice card upright. I feel that you should reach out. And I think the Justice card, I feel that this conversation will be something that is actually fairly calm. It will be honest and truthful. I feel like there will be a lot of clarification that comes from having this conversation. There will be things that start to make sense, and you'll understand why certain things happened, why certain things were said. It'll be a really good conversation. What I do want to say here is that I feel like this is just sort of more of the same. And I think for the Leos that this is resonating with, this is a conversation that's been had over and over and over again. And I don't even feel like it's that nothing has been tried. I feel like the conversation happens and there is a sincere attempt to figure out what causes this to happen, figure out ways to prevent it, figure out new ways of communicating, and those things don't work. And it happens again and again, and this conversation has just sort of been on repeat. So, I think maybe reach out and try to have a conversation that's a bit more honest about the realities of this. And I don't really know what that means, but I think the people who hear this, the Leos that hear that, will understand what I mean with that. You need to have the conversation that needs to be had, not the conversation that you've been having. Virgos. Six of Swords in reverse with the Five of Swords also in reverse. I would say yes, reach out. The Five of Swords reversed is about reconciliation and letting go of resentments and sort of having a situation where, one or both people make amends. So you should reach out, but I will say this. There's a lot of stuff here that needs to be unpacked, and there's going to be a lot of resistance on both sides to actually dealing with it. So you should reach out, but just know that it's the reaching out is by far the easiest part of this. The hard part is still yet to come. Okay. We're on Libra. Chariot reversed with the Seven of Swords reversed. You know what? My battery's about to die on the camera, guys, so I'm going to stop here with Libra. With these two cards, just so I know where I'm at, and then once the battery's charged up, I'll continue forward. I'll just splice these two together. Okay, guys, I'm back. The battery has been charged. I'm just going to jump right back in here. Sorry for that, but it's a necessary evil when both of your batteries are dead because you've been filming all night. So I was with Libra, I believe, and the cards that came out were the Chariot reversed with the Seven of Swords, which was also reversed. So with this, in terms of should you reach out, I'm going to say no on this. Just, I mean, this card for me, this can be something about, keeping secrets. But what I'm getting for this mostly is that there's not an honesty that's being had with the person listening to this, with yourself. And I think that you don't need to reach out to the other person because I don't think that you're very clear what you want yet. I don't feel like you have a lot of direction or clear idea about what it is that you would want from this relationship. And so because of that, it's not a good idea to reach out. Mostly because if you're not sure what you want, there's really not going to be anything new to talk about. I feel like that was probably the problem that existed here, was not quite knowing what it is that you wanted. So when you do figure that out, what you want, then that would be when you would want to reach out to the person. Moving on to Scorpio. We have the Ten of Wands reversed with the Page of Wands reversed. So in terms of whether or not you should reach out, I'm going to say that you should, for just a few reasons. I do want to talk about this. So this page, even though it is reversed, pages are the cards of communication. This particular page is the card that represents kind of a communication of new ideas, or sort of redirecting energy towards like more of a spiritual path. It could also, for me, represent sort of that inner critic, sort of self-talk thing that people can do to, almost like scare themselves into avoiding something or denying something. So, this coming out with this Ten of Wands, which is reversed, I feel like if you do reach out and communication does happen, what has to be talked about is sort of the hard, heavy stuff that happened within this relationship. That's what really has to be the focus of the conversation. So if you're ready to have that conversation, you can try to reach out. I don't know for sure if the other person is going to be very receptive right now. Just because this page is reversed, it might be something that, it might either take a couple of attempts to reach out to them to get them to talk, or you might reach out once and it might take a while before you hear back from them. But if you're ready to have the conversation that needs to be had, then for sure, go ahead and go forward with that. Sagittarius. We have the Star reversed with the Hierophant reversed. So two very powerful cards coming out together. The Star reversed is, it's the card of disconnection and despair. And the Hierophant reversed is really about, for me, it's the challenging tradition, sort of bucking tradition, going against what has always been done. So the way that I'm going to take this for Sagittarius is that whatever the past interaction has been, so I'm speaking to the Sagittarius here. So if you're a cross watcher listening for Sagittarius, this is really my advice specifically to Sagittarius here. What I would say is that, if in the past the two of you have not talked about things, you've had like communication totally cut off, then what you should do at this point is to try something different and just reach out and see what happens. But on the same token, if you traditionally, you do have conversations and you talk about things and it just sort of leaves you feeling like nothing really changed, nothing really improved, nothing really shifted, then this might be the time to actually just walk away from this and not reach out. I'm sorry that's a little bit confusing, but I feel like there were two groups of people there. And, with the Hierophant coming out reversed, it really is about going against what's been done before and trying something new, maybe even something a little bit unconventional. So if you've only spoken by text, maybe try to call them. Or if you always talk on the phone, maybe try putting things into an email and having like your words sort of be things that you can edit and get down to what you're really wanting to say. So just try something a little bit different. Capricorn. We have the Knight of Wands with the Eight of Wands reversed. So, I would say that you should reach out here, and you should really, when you do reach out, you should really try to have this Knight of Wands be the type of energy that you're putting out there. I think, expressing how you really feel and being really like expressive in that and passionate, and maybe suggesting that the two of you go on some sort of road trip or some sort of weekend getaway, or even just like a fun activity. If you can embody that sort of energy when you do reach out, then, you know, I feel like there might be a little bit of a resistance on the other person's part, and there could be a delay in them actually getting back to you. But I do feel energetically that, you know, this night is a very sort of charismatic night, and I think if you can do that and appeal to sort of like the sense of going and having an activity or an adventure together, then you know, it would be good for you to reach out. Going on to Aquarius, we have the Six of Wands reversed with a star reversed. So yeah, I'm going to say no to this. I'm going to say no, do not reach out. I feel like if you do that, it's going to, you're not going to come out on top of that. It's either going to make you feel, you know, embarrassed if you don't get a response back, or it's going to trigger old stuff, old pain if you don't get a response back. And I feel like with the Six of Wands coming out, I just feel like the other person is very much like they're focused on themselves, and they're very much still in their ego about everything that happened, and they're not going to be receptive to reaching out. So just for your own sanity and for sparing your own feelings, I would say, you know, don't reach out. Pisces, we have the Sun coming out with the Two of Cups, so absolutely 100% reach out. I mean, these two cards, I think if you've watched any tarot readings, you understand these two cards. You know, the Sun is the most positive, most joyful card in the deck. This just represents a lot of good. And the Two of Cups, you know, that's a really unified spiritual partnership where there's mutual attraction. I'm not quite sure why these, you know, for the Pisces who are listening, you know, I don't know what might be the cause for these two people not communicating right now. So absolutely, if you're listening to this, then you should reach out. I'm really hopeful that I managed to get through all of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did. So every sign got a reading with the question of should they reach out or not. And if you like this video and you want me to do more of them, please leave a comment letting me know. So give the video a thumbs up. That helps to just spread the video and make sure that more people are able to see it. And also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, and if you want notifications when new video content is posted, then make sure you click that bell notification, as that is how YouTube lets you know. And I really enjoyed doing that reading as well. I've liked the readings that I've been doing to sort of wrap up this month a lot, so I'm probably going to do more of those. I will still continue to do the love readings for each zodiac sign. I might drop those down to being once a month. But let me know what you guys want. Let me know what you want. If you watch this video, leave me a comment about what types of videos you would want me to focus on, because, you know, the goal here is to create a channel that you enjoy, that you want to come back to, that you look forward to seeing the video content that goes out. So I want to hear from you. I want to know what it is that you want me to do. I'm sort of here for your entertainment, so to speak. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope that you watched the other videos about Are They Coming Back, and also the pick a reading that I'm putting up, and give those some love as well. And again, if you think anyone might benefit from hearing the content in this video, if you know any other signs that you're super close friends with and they want to know if they should reach out, pass this video along to them. I would love to meet, you know, even more people, and to see the channel grow with subscribers and see what we can make happen here. So that's it. I'm going to call it a night. I've done 5 readings tonight, so my brain is ready for a break. But I will probably edit these a little bit later and put them up first thing tomorrow morning. So they will obviously be to you quickly if you're listening to me ramble on and on. So really let me know if you agreed with what I said for your sign or not. I do like getting the feedback because it helps me to refine just sort of how I do the readings and the process I go through before actually starting to record. And that's it. So have a great one, and I will see you guys in the next video.